How are we doing? Most people are finished? Yeah? Okay. Okay, let's talk within our groups what we think the answers are. We'll do that for about 5 minutes. I'm very interested in your group. I'll ask you questions afterwards about what your process was for each one. If you were able to identify a process by which you were, that like applied to 1, 2, 3, 4, however you answered the question. I would also be interested to know what the individual answers are that you each gave. And I would also like to know whether you changed your answers after consultation with your group. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, let's do that for 5 minutes. And I will play some music. Okay, how are we doing, everybody? Almost finished? Generally finished? Perfect. Okay, nice. Let's see if we can. Let me just check here. Okay, let's try to answer these. Let's just do this very quickly. So nobody raise their hands. Let's yell over each other. Let's be impolite. For one, what did people say? Bird. Bird. Anything else?
I said chicken.
Interesting. Chicken. Anything else? No hands. Sheep. Oh, is everybody rethinking what they did? Okay, anything else? Goose. Anything else? Nothing? Going once? Going twice? Look at our creative thinking. We've got like 25 people. 4. Okay, that's respectable. Did anybody change their opinions from what they put? Yeah, what were you?
I put bird, but I think that like chicken or geese probably fits better because it's
Fits
like
better?
a specific animal, not a category.
Right. Okay, perfect. Okay, this is getting to where we want to go. What was the process that we engaged in answering this question? Oh, yes.
Like,
No hands. No hands.
Oh, yes, sorry. It's like a group to like singular, like what's within the group.
Okay. So if we are mapping the information, right, we have whatever this object is like blank is to blank as, and then we have the same here. So you're saying, you said group is to, is that what you said, group?
Yeah, like what's within the group, what's singular.
So group, plural, right, is to member of group.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Member, singular. Did anybody else do this? Yeah? Was there any other categorization feature extraction that we did? So like a group is a feature of a herd. Cow is a feature, or member is a feature of cow relating to herd, right? Do we see how that makes sense?
Am I right?
Yes, yeah. Member, yeah, cow is a member of a herd. And yes, this is down the track we want to go to. Did anybody do any other feature? Yes.
I didn't just do like member, I did like farm animal or something. Like
Okay. So, can we just say like domesticated animal, or we'll do farm animal, right? So this is also farm, right? So herd is to a cow. Herd is a group for which a cow is a member, and they both exist on a farm, or whatever, right? Any others, or was that was it? Yes. No hands.
Oh, sorry. I took it like a more general approach, and it was
Okay.
just like the macro to micro version of what it was. So
Okay, we could do that.
herd is like a big picture
Okay.
idea, and then the cow is like the more micro version of what the herd could be.
And so you could get like conceptual here, like this is really bad. Like you could say like the cow represents the herd, right? So you could say this is slightly different from being a member of a group, or depending on context. But okay, this is the right set of steps. We're going to get into this in particular later. But for these sorts of questions, I think my general strategy would normally be, before I give you the answer, it would be to define this as best as possible, define this as best as possible. So this is a process called, it's going to have a different name here, but in machine learning, it's called feature extraction. And so you can get a lot of machines that can like look at a thing and say, what is the total set of attributes or features that a herd has? What is the total set of attributes or features that cows have? And do they map in some logical way? So what we've done here is we've done both of those steps already. This is a feature. It is a group of things. The cow is a member, and there's a relationship here. But what we'd like to do is first identify features of herd. So let's do that here. What is a feature of a herd? If we're repeating, that's fine. But let's try to think of different things. Do we know what a herd is? Okay.
Multiple things.
Thank you. Multiple things, yes. It could be as abstract as we want. Multiple objects, let's do animals. Anything else? Land animals, okay. Do we agree with that? Do we have no opinions on it? Okay, we'll do land animals. Okay, anything else? No hands.
Oh, I feel like there's most of the time a leader or like something that.
Okay, sure. So their leader or organization or something like that? Is that fine? Or maybe you're like, I didn't say that. Don't say that. Okay. Anything else? We could stop there. That's fine. We don't have to be exhaustive. And then we have cow. What are the features of cow? Moo. I'm not going to put that. What? Single. Okay, so you went from multiple, now you're saying single. Animal. Okay, the mapping here is pretty clear, right? 4 hooves. Do we want to be that specific or do we want to be more general? What do we want? Hooves, legs, 4 stomachs. Cows have 4 stomachs, you know that, right? Yeah, they have 4 stomachs. They have the best digestion, I believe. 4 hooves, okay. My uncle used to own a dairy farm, and you go when you're a little kid, you ride a golf cart, you go like milk them, and then they also had to monitor gut health. It's probably going to gross people out, trigger warning. But like they would cut open, they just have like a cavity in the cow. You could like see into their stomach to see how they're like digesting stuff. This is how we eat. Anything else about cows that we want to map? Describe the attributes of. Land animal, okay. That's great. Anything else? No hands, please, people. Just eat grass. Okay. Gut bacteria. We'll just say gut bacteria. Okay. Anything else? We're going to stop after the next one. Commonly eaten. Burger. Okay. Okay. What I will not do is go right down. Oh, you know what? I will do that. Okay. So we have features for herd. We have features for cow. There are 2 other parts to this question, right? Right? So we've described features for this, features for this. What I'd now like you to do is describe features for flock. We'll do that quickly. What is a flock, people? Okay, group. Flying. Okay, maybe. Sure, we can do that. Group, flying, multiple animals. Okay, that's sure. Okay, so there's like can we just say community, I guess? Or like community group living situation? Sure. Anything else? Let's turn that music off. Anything else, people?
More a question, but are there any land animals that like are called a flock? Like I don't know.
It's an interesting question. Does anybody have any idea?
Like a sheep and a chicken?
A sheep is usually called a flock.
Well,
So say that louder.
Like a sheep is usually like group of sheep are called flocks.
Okay.
So I've read that. So
Okay. So do we want to put that here?
yeah.
Okay. So we'll say sheep.
that's interesting because I feel like it's like birds and sheep are that have the same name.
Okay, that may be the case. Birds. Let's say group for both of these, right? Group for both of these. Okay, anything else about flocks that we know?
For birds, oftentimes I think of like a V shape. Neither here nor there.
Okay, we'll put V. We'll do like a visual diagram, a delta. Do we want to add any information here? We're talking about specific animals.
For both flock.
No hands, yeah.
It's just an indicator. Flock, for both flock and herd, they could also be verbs.
We'll go noun or verb. Okay, what I kind of want to get at, I'll add that there, is it's kind of like in the question, but we'll just say cows, right? So like groups of cows. Okay, do we think, okay, so just to summarize, this kind of feels like overkill, but what we've done is we've looked at this question. It's an analogy question. A herd is to cow in the way that flock is to blank. The relation, in other words, the relationship between the category herd or the group herd to cow is the same relation between flock to whatever this is. And so what we've done is we've said, okay, to help constrain the problem for the set of possible answers, let's define all of the relevant facts or attributes about each one of these things. And so what we've come to with flock, herd, cow, is this accumulated list. It's obviously not exhaustive, but I think we have enough information to determine if one of these is a correct answer or if there's something else that's a better answer. And so what we want to do is we want to say, okay, we understand the relationship between herd to cow. We understand that this is a group, looking through our features, whatever, this is a group, 4 legs, could be on a farm, etc. This can contain the same information with marginal differences, the differences for the analogy. So like a cow, it has 4 legs, it can fit into a herd, etc., etc. The question I have for you is, what is the relationship between herd and flock that includes the most amount of descriptors or attributes here, right? I think it's very clear to us what the relationship between this and this is. What is the relationship between herd and flock here? What attributes do they share in common, I guess is a better way to phrase that.
They're both groups.
Okay, so that's the first one. Yes, they're both groups.
Multiple animals.
Okay, multiple animals, yeah. That's kind of similar, yeah. I'd say they both community, group living, right? This is like basically the groups of animals. We've described it in different ways. Flock. We said flying. Does that apply to herd? Why not? It's definitional, right? We don't need like a crazy justification. Cows don't fly. We know that herd is related to cow. That's constrained in the problem. We have that information. Okay, so this is not going to be useful for this problem. If it's not flying, what else is it then? Oh, you were jumping. Walking, we'll just do land-based, right? I think that's important. Okay, does that mean we want to include bird in here? It's possible, we could, but like in the attempt to solve the question, we're going to pick a set of attributes, and that's what we're doing here. Okay, do we care about the formation of the herd versus the flock? I don't think that's super relevant. I don't think there's a similarity there. Okay, so that leaves us with a set of attributes that we think map from flock to herd. So then the question is, now as we reanalyze the question, when we say herd, we're also thinking about the set of attributes. When we say cow, we're thinking about a set of attributes. If herd maps to flock on those dimensions, those attributes, given the attributes here, what animal do we think is the answer? Okay, I heard some sheeps. Any other opinions? Okay, let's say it's sheep. What do we think? Raise of hands. Yes? Hi, proud, 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 proud. Okay, that's great. Is a sheep a single animal? This is like the how many R's are there in strawberry? I think we all know. Is sheep a plural word or a singular word? No, it's not. I don't think it is, actually. Sheep is plural. What is a singular sheep?
It's sheep.
It is.
It's like a.
Is sheep does it say it's singular? Could you look it up? I don't trust that. Can you look up Webster's Meridian Dictionary? Yeah, that's fine, Webster. Irrespective of that, there's an attribute that we did not say. And this is going to get into the problem that everybody brought up earlier. Is it plural? Plural. That is the singular. Okay, so yes, it does say that sheep is singular. But so I guess we can take that answer. We'll accept it. The actual answer is actually. Does anybody have any idea? Has anyone ever heard this word? Has anybody ever been on a ranch? No. Has anybody ever touched a cow?
Yeah.
Wow, we all have such varied life experience. The answer is actually, has anybody ever seen this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No way.
Were you going to say that?
No.
Okay.
No way that is the answer.
I'll let you get on your phones or your computers to like Google what this is. Somebody want to read it out?
No way.
Would you like to read it out? It is a sheep of what qualities? Right. What is a cow? It's a female.
Female cow, it should say bovine.
No, cow.
Cow is the cow. Female. Bull is the male. Right?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's summarize. Okay, so a ewe is a female singular sheep. Right? Right? This is definitional. This isn't there's no argument about that. It's kind of stupid, right?
No, it's not dumb, but
Okay, thank you for No, but it's very specific. Okay, so the reason we bring this up, the reason that this is the first question is because nobody gets it right. And when you look at this sort of question, people brought this up earlier, I could overhear it. Any answer can fit whatever the constraints are for the question. Like I could say that a herd, I'm only thinking about the attribute of being a group of animals that can go on land. Birds can also go on land. Flock also applies to like ducks or any types of birds or whatever. But the point here is that there's a lot of, give me one second, there's a lot of information that we kind of bring into, we do bring into our analysis of different words or concepts or ideas. Some of these are going to be much more straightforward because in our lives or experiences, we don't have access to information about additional attributes or whatnot. But the central idea here is to just illustrate this process that we're going to engage in for analogy type problems via relational reasoning. So again, to summarize, the whole point of this is not to say that, like, my professor, my advisor would say the only acceptable answer is U. She's also 80 years old. I love her to death, but I don't find that to be a compelling argument, because I do think the information that you bring in to this, to this, to this, and then whatever this is going to influence whatever you think a plausible answer is. But why do I bring it up? What's the point of saying that there are different interpretations or different attributes? Yeah.
Directly related, but I think when we were talking about like that correct answer being you and all that stuff, it's also interesting. It's like I feel like in primary school, like one of the first things we're taught is that like something has to repeat 3 times to be a pattern or something. Like, does anyone else learn that? Anyway, but with this, it's like you're completing a pattern based on only one connection. So like if there was like another one where it was like female, animal, and whatever, then it would be totally different. But I feel like a lot of times, like, we just say cow. Like,
Right.
at least now, maybe 30 years ago, people were out here saying you all the time. But, like, usually if, like, I mean, honestly, if I see a male cow, or I just
A
said
bull.
it, if I see a bull, and, like, unless it's, like, looking, like, really ferocious, I'm probably gonna call it a cow.
Right.
Like,
Right. And so to build off of that, you know, we have our colloquial definitions, but there's a lot of information that we bring into any discussion when we use any word and whatnot. And there's I'm kind of like harping on this point because this is where some of my research is interested in. Like, I'm really interested in the idea that everybody's language is unique and idiosyncratic being unique to the individual. So when everybody hears this word or says this word or comprehends this, there's a set of features or attributes in your brain that are activated based on your prior experience. When you see cow, maybe female is very salient to you. Maybe the idea of milk is very salient to you, given your prior experience or not. And then how that information coalesces or influences this other word, and then how you process this other word, and then the sort of answer that you come to. That's like kind of the stuff that I'm interested in. But the point here that I was trying to make before that slight tangent was everybody has a different perspective, different view on this, and in life, it's hard. You have to clearly define the information that we're discussing or the topics that we're discussing. And so to try to put a bow on this, the problem of identifying clear analogies is a problem that persists across the educational or psychological literature. Every point, every thought that everybody's having right now, well, what is the real answer here? There are a set of valuable answers. This is not to say that I care for what answer you get, but in life, in any other sort of problem that requires mapping information to another one that we'd call an analogy problem, the sort of process that we went through is the most important process. And so when you are answering this question, what is also unheard of and what we have not said is what is the sort of response, the person who's asking the question, what sort of response do they want? Right? Does that make sense? If we ask this question and I said be hyper-specific, down to the sex of the animal, down to the location of the animal, as you're trying to decipher which is the final animal there. And I said focus on whether it's plural or not. That would probably influence the eventual answer that you provided. And so the takeaway here is, again, We're going to focus on the process of how we got there, but also there are always unspoken constraints on every question that's asked of you, whether you are aware of them or not. Does that make sense? And so hopefully this process has been somewhat illustrative there. Are there any questions about that first question? We'll go through the answers for the other ones, but I feel like I kind of beat that horse. That's not I guess I probably shouldn't use that phrase. Yes?
Who gave you these answers?
These answers come from a textbook from I looked it up. I don't think it's like 30 years ago. I think it's like 50, 60 years ago, which I think goes along with the sort of discussions that we've had about expertise and education. Like, I don't think, when I said that there's a clear answer for all of these, it's very tongue-in-cheek because I don't believe that. But in the learning sciences, 30, 40 years ago, people would say that there is only one answer, and if you can't get it, then you either don't come from the right society or you don't have the same mental capacity or intelligence, which were correlated back then, right? So highlighting a very key error there. Okay, what did we put for number 2?
Shore.
Shore. Island. Okay, anything else?
Sea.
Sea. Country. Okay. Why? I mean, this is, so I'll just give you the answer. The answer is peninsula.
I'm not even gonna get one right.
I feel like, I feel like this one's much more clear. I feel like if I asked you to go through each one of these, you could probably do it slightly better. Not to say that you did it bad, but what would be the features of the ocean that we'd care for, if we're going to work back from the correct answer of peninsula? Large. Okay, so.
Or a bay is surrounded by 3 sides and then land, and the peninsula is surrounded by 3 sides and ocean.
Everybody hear that? Right? So there's like a set, we can abstract that just to this general process. There are a set of features about the relationship between an ocean, water, large body of water, a bay, right? What is the definition of a bay? Not your bay, but a bay. I can't hear you, Claire. You gotta help me out here.
A body of water is surrounded by 3 sides of land.
Okay, and what is a continent? Large mass of land. And so then if we're talking about the relationship between land and water, if we're going to map the relationship there, ocean to bay, continent to peninsula would make sense. If we're looking about the relationship between. Do you not like it? I'm interested.
I'm just frustrated.
Okay. What about 3?
Doghouse.
Okay, is that one clear to everybody?
Is that the right answer?
Yes, kennel. Kennel is the answer. I mean, doghouse is like the same, but it's, that's. 4,
Dream.
sing, song, dream. You guys ever watch Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Dream, 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 dream. Yeah, okay. 5, quart is to gallon as week is to. Sorry, that was a lot of. You had something. What did you say? What?
What was 4?
4, dream.
Dream.
Yeah.
You dream a dream.
Somebody want to explain that for me so I don't have to sing? Dream, dream. Why is it dream? Who got the answer right? Okay, would somebody like to explain it?
There's no other verb to describe what you're doing when you have a dream other than have, maybe.
So you sing a song, you dream a dream,
Yeah.
right? And then 5, quart is to gallon as week is to. Any Europeans here?
No.
Is quart? No, liter. Quart is American, right?
Yeah.
Imperial.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Quart is to gallon is weak is to. Okay. Why? Four. The relationship is four, right?
It is a
Four-ish,
curve.
right? Yeah. 6. What are our opinions here?
I said where, like WEAR.
I did
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
I did too, but I don't like that answer.
Say here.
I said here.
Here. You said here.
Yeah, like you dropped the first
Drop the first letter.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yes.
My first
Not get how you got there.
my first response was were.
Yeah.
That's-
That was my first one too, and I crossed it out.
Why?
Huh?
Why? It is infill, right?
If you go by homophones, it could also be WARE.
WARE. Yeah, yeah. Peyton, you had something? Or no? Did you raise your hand? Or did you raise your hand? Did somebody raise your hand? Okay.
I don't know. I was just saying Ava did word too.
Oh, you did word too? Okay, nice. This one, I don't think I mean, all of these are up for interpretation. I think this one's fairly straightforward. I think, with the sort of things we've been talking about up to this point, there's this one I feel if you want to do just dropping a certain letter or whatnot, I think that's a fairly ill-defined question. I don't think there's enough information in our, where, whether it's were or whatnot. It depends on the features that you're really attending to. But the official answer is where. Yeah, WEAR, homophones. Again, hopefully this tells you that, I think this is a nice blast from the past about how these sorts of questions are not very specific, and they are culturally dependent,
Gotta think like a 1960s textbook producer.
which is like a 1950s 70-year-old white man,
That's my dad, so.
which means you were probably born in like the late 1800s. So the next one is, what do we put for 8? Oh no, 7. Verb is to action, as adjective is to description. Is that clear? Yeah, that one's very straightforward. I think this is also like a good comparison between 6 and 7. Like there's enough. The definitions that we have for verb and the relation to action are fairly straightforward. That's not open to interpretation as much. So adjective to description, I think, is fairly straightforward too. I'll just go through these quickly. 8, suggest is to demand, as take is to steal.
I said snatch.
The answer is snatch.
Channeling my dad.
Okay, that one seems.
I'm gonna put cop.
That's such a weird word.
Snatch. Yeah, again, eras here. We'll just kind of breeze. We kind of spent too much time on this. Okay, belt is to trousers. Trousers is cable is to.
Elevator lift.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Would you like to explain to the class here what you seem very in line with the 1950s old white guy, Claire. I don't know what the.
So your belt is holding up your trousers, and so the cable is holding up your twist.
I would like to counter.
Counterpoint.
I would
Okay,
like to-
counterpoint. Yes, please. Yeah.
Your belt is not meant to lift and lower your trousers. It is meant to explicitly hold it up stationary.
And I think a bridge is more stationary than an elevator.
I would say.
Does the cable hold up the bridge?
Yes.
Like, yeah, cable bridges.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm imagining the. I'm going to defend the old white guy here.
It would be the upper truss.
What'd you say? Who said that?
Upper
What'd you
truss.
say? I would do that.
That holds up the bridge.
Okay, guys, let's pare this back a little bit. I find that to be a sufficiently
I said
well stated point. I would agree with that.
I said zip liner.
Zip liner. Yeah, I mean, again, at the end of the day, as long as we have defined some set of relevant attributes that create a logical comparison or analogy between those two. Okay, and then last one, hope, hopeful, gratitude, grateful. Okay, all right, let's get out of here. Yes, give me 1 second. So essentially what we've done, just want to get all these here, is we've gone through like a very straightforward process. I called it feature extraction. That's how I was taught this information before. But the process by which we try to solve any analogy, as valid as they are, is going through an encoding phase, an inferring phase, a mapping phase, and an applying phase. We've already kind of discussed it informally. We've kind of gone through here. I'll come back to you in a second, Khadija. The idea, defining each part, is that when we encode, we're going to use the words describe or analyze here. I would rather think about it in terms of defining the attributes or the features of the object. We kind of already discussed this, but when we go through this process, what we normally end up doing is kind of jumping between, we have an idea of what the relationship here is, but for us to have had a relationship, we have to know information about those things, those topics, those animals, those names, those categories. And so the big thing here is that the first thing we want to do is list out all of the attributes or features, or define it, however we want to describe it. The act of inferring is what we also did with herd and cow earlier. We want to, after having described the objects, describe the relationship or infer what the meaningful relationships are between those two objects. Does that make sense to everybody? So a good way to think about it is like, how does this term go with this term? How does a herd go together with a cow? Mapping is what we also did with the first and third terms. So we have a set of relationships that we care for. That helps constrain, helps us identify the features that are of importance to us. And now we're going to take that information and relate it to the other portion of the problem that maps together. Is it clear how the problems are like set up? Again, this is just like a formalism and how they're represented. But it's clear how there's a relationship between these two objects, and there's a relationship between this first object and this third object, right? Like we're trying to recreate the underlying structure here over here. Is that clear for everybody? And then the last one is applying, which is finding the answer or the correct term given the set of attributes that need to relate to each other. So in our first example, in this one here, the U answer, we can see that when we talked about it, we didn't know what U was, but we eventually were able to get to a point where we could say female sheep. We might not have known what U was or the name, but like we had the set of appropriate descriptors or attributes there. And so what I don't want us to do is imagine, I didn't even realize that was up there the whole time. What I don't want us to do is to think that all analogy problems are going to be formulated in this structure. That's not the point. The point is, here's a very clear formalism on here's a clear formalism of a way analogy can be represented. You've probably seen analogies structured in this way before. Analogies occur all the time in our lives. They occur with metaphors. This thing is like this other thing. Shakespeare is like Cervantes. One writer is like another writer. Macbeth is like Don Quixote. Apple is like OpenAI, et cetera, et cetera. when I'm saying those words, what I'm really asking you to do is identify a set of attributes or features, and then by constructing that analogy, I'm asking you to map those together, right? This is supposed to be a formal way to identify the features, map them onto a different object, or for you to identify those objects in the structure of the analogy, or by way of the structure of the analogy. Does that make sense? Yes, okay. Okay. I guess we still have 10 minutes. We were supposed to get through anomalous reasoning 2. Okay, this one's pretty short. So if analogy is the ability to identify or analyze two problems or two objects and identify the sort of underlying features about them that map onto each other, that make them of some like kind, anomalous reasoning is identifying the object or features of an object that do not coincide with the general features of the group. That sounds very wordy, but which one of these objects is anomalous? The pencil. Why? It's different. Yes, it's that simple. Just remember, analogies mapping similar traits. Anomaly is identifying the trait or object that does not possess the similar trait. Which one of these is an anomaly? The middle ball. Why is the middle ball? It's not insect, right? It can be that simple. Yeah. Very clear. Which one? Why? I think grasshoppers do fly. I think they do fly, right? Or no, that's locusts.
No, I think grasshoppers.
Do grasshoppers fly?
They can. They just also have crazy legs.
Anybody watch like A Bug's Life?
Yeah.
Anybody watch Ants?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if those are locusts or grasshoppers. Okay, but like for the function of this activity here, we can see wings on all of them except the grasshopper, right? So if the object is to identify the thing that is different, the most salient observable attribute here is the discrepancy between having wings and not having wings, right? Okay. Okay, we do the exact same process, encoding, inferring, mapping, and applying. When you encode with the anomaly set, we go through the same process of identifying the features that are relevant. We identify what each element of that set has in common. Then we apply that to all of the objects within the set to see where discrepancies may arise or not. We investigate the differences, and then we apply them to see what is a difference of meaningful kind. So this one's pretty straightforward too, right? It's the red fish that's looking the other way. These ones are slightly more difficult. We'll do this for like the next few minutes, and then we'll probably just end class. If you want, you can discuss with your friends or think deeply about which one of these is different, the anomalous object, which one of those objects on the right-hand side, which biker is different. These are of different difficulties, I suppose. I think like
Is it one singular outlier?
there's one singular outlier for each of the photos here. So like try to think about, look at the objects, identify the features of the objects, compare those against each other, and identify which one is the outlier. Does anybody have an answer for the first one, the snowflake one? Yeah.
Is it 6?
Why?
Because the middle star has like 6 points.
Yes. Does everybody see that? Yes. You have something similar or different? For the bike? Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, this one I think is much more straightforward. If you look at, you might say the dimension, like the angle of whatever, it's not rotation, whatever it is, the angle of the snowflake is different. The sizes of them are different, but the only meaningful discernible difference is really the number of points on the star in the middle. The biker one, I think, is more difficult. Joey, did you have a idea? Do you want to whisper it to me before you say it? Because I know people are still looking at it. Okay, yeah. Okay. This one took me a really long time, so I don't want to like, if you had a wrong answer, I would let you say it, you know. I'd let you profess that to the world, but I.
like the bikes more, so I skip the snowflake sometimes.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I figured it out.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do like 2 minutes to let everybody think about it, and then we will, if you get it right, we'll end class. So we might end class a whole 3 minutes early if you. But if not, we'll stick here. So make sure you're right. See, I feel a little vindicated because I know the earlier examples were a little silly. This problem, I think, is highly constrained. All the information is necessary there. It's more dynamic because you have a larger number of objects that you have to manage or compare. You also have a larger set of patterns within each object that you have to compare against. So it makes it a much harder problem. But the process of finding out which one, I think the best way to do it operationally is still that 4-step process. Peyton.
Wait, no, I'm not saying my answer because it might be wrong. You told him that his was right.
Do you want to come?
No.
Okay. I trust you. I trust. If you do want to go out on a limb,
No.
does anybody want to go out on a limb? If not, I'll let Joey take it away. But I'll. Yeah, Cole, go out on a limb. Which one?
The 32 guy.
Why?
Because the ps is in front and with a number.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Would you like to explain? You had a good explanation earlier.
Sure. I said
That was right. Yeah. Yeah.
The bikers with odd numbers break at the front and even breaks at the back. 32 is the only even number who's breaking at the front.
Do we see that? Do we see that? Right? 8, 2, 12 in the back, 87 odd, 9 odd, 41 odd, right? Did you use the look at each one, identify what's happening, compare that to the different ones, mapping them? Okay, right. That's the process generally. It's good to have a structured representation like that or process to help us do that. I appreciate you all. I will see you next Tuesday.